Thank you very much. I now ask each of you to give yourselves 60 seconds to introduce yourselves. Candidate Balich.
Remember to vote for Steve Balich, Stephen J. Balich, that is. A little bit about me, there's a lot. I had to write it down so I didn't forget. I have 2 associate degrees, one in early childhood education and one in business. I have a bachelor's degree with a minor in psychology and a minor in education. I have 3 classes to go, and I have a master's in health science from Governor's State. I was a ward committeeman in the 13th Ward, Michael Madigan's ward for the Republican Party. I also helped Bernard Epton when he ran against Harold Washington back in 1983. So I have a lot of experience dating back to when I was 33 years old. I was co-founder of the Will County Tea Party Alliance, which was over 11,000 members. I was president of the Homer Founders Club, which I started, and there was 275 families from Homer Township in that group. I was a Homer Township committeeman.
Sorry.
I'm out of time already?
60 seconds. I'm sorry.
Oh, I have about 8 more things to go. That's why I wrote it down.
Candidate Richmond.
Good evening, and thank you to the Will County Central Committee for putting this on, and Tammy, thank you for moderating. So, my name is James Richmond, I prefer to be called Jim. I'm running for re-election in District 4. I currently am a business owner. I've spent over close to 40 years in corporate world, working for a Fortune 400 company, running a large division, as well as now am a small business owner. I spent the past 3.5 years on the county board. I was elected in 2022. Prior to that, I spent 11.5 years on the Village of Mokina board, 4 years on the Mokina Park District. I've spent time coaching baseball, soccer, basketball, softball, and all that. I have an MBA and a BA, as well as the fact I'm married and have 2 adult children. Thank you.
Candidate Lepore.
Thank you. First, thank you to Will County Central Committee for hosting this event. Nothing's more important than informing the voters about these important races. My name is Mike Lepore, and I'm running for Will County Board in District 4. I'm currently a Homerland trustee, where I chair the Economic Development Committee, and I also sit on the Administration and Finance Committee. I'm a 33-year resident of Homerland, husband, proud father of 4 children, and small business owner, multiple small businesses I own and operate locally. And I'm a Bachelor's of Science in Accounting, Master's in Taxation, and I know what hard work is, and I know what needs to be done in Will County. I'm proud to call Will County home. I'm proud to call Homerland home. I look forward to the challenges ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask both the incumbents the same question. Can you share some of your key accomplishments during your term or terms as a county board member? Candidate Richmond?
Oh, I'm glad I brought my visual aid here with me. So, aside from being on the village board, or on the county board, or that, I don't know if many people that know me know that I'm just fascinated by numbers. And I've spent the past 3 years going through our county budget, line item by line item, every page in this book here. And if anybody wants to ever take a look, they can take a look at my notes. And what I did is I looked at every line item, and I looked for historical data. From that historical data, what I did is I then looked at what our budget should be. Based on my years in the corporate world, having to manage budgets and people, I in turn turned that into, as the chair of the Finance Committee, PowerPoint presentations and information for our committee for us to understand ways that we could look at reducing our budget. There were times that I brought forward proposals that would reduce the budget by $4 to $6 million. It was well laid out, the timeline on these projects, on how they could not be accomplished, but yet the vote was to take $4 to $5 million from the taxpayers. That wasn't necessary. What happens with that money? That money goes back into the general budget and it gets used for other things. Again, those are things that take money out of taxpayers' pockets and puts it back into the general fund. If you look at this past year's budget that we were able to get a 0% tax increase, we were able to, do that by working together. And if you look at that 0% tax increase, you look at the cash reserves. The cash reserves were close to $90 million, 35%. You should only be carrying a cash reserve of about 25%. So that was something that I'm very proud of. Not only myself, but the whole team. We all work together, and I'm very big on teamwork. So thank you.
Candidate Balich.
Well, I got 4 pages, so I got to summarize. Well, to start off, my name is Stephen J. Balich, and I want you to vote for me. That's important. Every time somebody calls me up on the phone, I help them, no matter where they live. And I've been doing that for the whole time I've been on the board. I always vote against increased taxes, all the time. As a matter of fact, I always start out with minus 10% in every line item. And that's how it's going to be going forward. I see no value in solar farms and data centers. I can't stand them. I never vote for them. 0, because they're taking up good farmland. Now we go into some of the other stuff. I stopped aerial photos, so the land use couldn't give you code violations from a drone in the sky or a helicopter. I also stopped when they give you a violation code because you have a permit on something that's not in the permit, that's no more legal. Now, they can only give you a violation code for not doing your permitted work correctly. They can't look at your house and say, oh, that's bad, you got a code violation. No more of that. I also made sure that when somebody got a ticket for driving their car, and the cop said, no offense to you, sheriff guys, your car's got to get towed. Well, if you get your car towed in Will County, you can get your money back if the judge says yes. Because you ask the judge, can I get my money back because I'm innocent? Now you can get your money back. That's a real important thing. Then we can go into 143rd Street. I did a personal letter of no to the county. That's not a legal objection. But as a township supervisor, I did a legal objection there. And then I told our lawyers to find a way to stop that lousy road. And guess what? They did. So that's why we were involved. I was in personal level and as a county board member and as a township supervisor to stop the road. 159th Street.
Time. Sorry.
Well, I can roll with this stuff. Vote Steve Balich.
Candidate Lepore. What do you see as the primary duties and responsibilities of a county board member?
Thank you. So the primary duties and responsibilities of a county board member are somewhat similar to what I do as a trustee. A lot of the hard work begins in committees. Committees are the foundation of creating good policy, code ordinances, and they make board meetings as efficient and productive as possible. In addition to the committees, there are community events, partnerships with local businesses that are essential. You want to make sure that the local municipalities and the residents feel supported. You want to make sure that they are the number one priority as we make decisions that impact everyone, not just our constituents in District 4, but throughout the county. I feel that a lot of the hard work that's done behind the scenes will never be credited to those board members and those who are working hard for the residents, but it's essential that everyone does the hard work that needs to be done in order to move everything forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Richmond, with the success of the zero tax levy increase this past year, how do you plan to maintain fiscal responsibility going forward?
Excellent question, and something I am so happy that you asked. In the past few years, I've gone through our budget books and I've sat through a lot of meetings. In these meetings, I identified right now at least 2 areas where there was significant losses. One area had approximately a $3 million loss. After sitting through the meeting, had several discussions. We in turn have gotten that department to look at going in and auditing and figuring out ways that they can actually recapture more dollars from Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance and that over at the Sunny Hill Nursing Home. And this past January, they presented us their proposed budget for next year, or their proposed projections for next year, and we're down to $1.7 million. So I would say that's a huge savings for the taxpayers. The other is the RNG plant. The RNG plant, when I came in, for 2 years in a row, they actually came up with $2.5 million in losses both years. This past December, I went out there, I had a meeting with a couple of our other board members, and after listening to them, the folks at the RNG plant, I looked at it and I said, we've got input, we've got output, and we've got a facility. The input is something we can't control from the landfill. The output is generated from the facility, so let's focus on the facility. Doing root cause analysis, what we were able to do is determine that they only have 3 compressors. They needed a 4th compressor, so this way they could in turn roll those compressors and maintain their uptime. By increasing their uptime, the projections are going to be that they can actually be more efficient and effective. And from what we just had reported this past week is the fact that they made approximately $500,000. So we are on the right trajectory, but I think by spending some money and doing a little bit of a good root cause analysis and business case, we can find out ways to actually do this in other departments. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Lepore, seeing that the current board achieved a zero tax levy increase, what strategies would you bring to ensure continued fiscal responsibility?
Thank you. I'm familiar with the budget negotiations that took place in November, December meetings. It is my understanding that everything is funded. The reserves we utilize to make this happen, and the budget levy, the levy and the budget are balanced. With nearly 30 years of private sector experience running multiple businesses, I'm very familiar with budgeting and how to curb spending. I believe the budget should be further analyzed for cost savings and also eliminate redundancies. Even perhaps reallocation of funds, such as the 143rd Street widening project, which was opposed by not only the mayor, the board of trustees, and residents of Will. I believe that Will County can continue to grow and prosper without burdening residents with additional fees and taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Balich, what is your approach to reducing taxes, but yet still funding important county programs?
Well, the first thing is, I don't want any unnecessary spending, and I'll fight like hell to stop it. And I want to have 0 no-bid contracts, unlike my opponent over there, that he voted for 2 of them on his 10 months as a member of the village board. So I know he gets to reply back. I'm going to look at the budget, and I'm going to look at everything. And when I look at it, I don't give up. I'm relentless about finding a way to solve the problem. You address it, you know there's a problem, I'm going to solve it. And that's how I act. That's why I'm able to get things on the agenda that other people can't. Because I know how to bring it out. I've had experience on that board, and I know how to work it. I've been on every single committee on that board, and I fought for the same things all the time. Fiscal responsibility. Our people are sick of paying taxes. I'm sick of paying taxes. I don't like unnecessary spending. I want to have 50 bids if I can get them, not 1. If it turns out it's 1 and we have to do it, fine. But I don't like it. I want to save money for the taxpayers. And I do it every single time there's a chance. I fight about it. And I'm not ever going to give up. And I think everybody here knows it, or you should know it, because you've seen all the stuff I do. If you go on my YouTube channel, sbalich1 at youtube.com, okay? Check it out. And you got to remember, I'm the guy that fights. They call me a taxpayer watchdog for a number of years. When I was a Teamster, I developed, this is back when they didn't have logistics. I figured out a way to do logistics without computers. And our company's stock, the amount of work we had was tremendous. Why? I just figured it out. It wasn't that complicated. You ask yourself, how do I do something? Why was it done this way? And how do I move forward? And that's how you do it with everything. Vote Steve Balich, please.
Candidate Lepore, would you like to rebut for 1 minute?
Yes, I would. Thank you. I believe my underinformed colleague is referring to the Village of Homer Glen's efforts to combat ever-increasing water rates for our residents. The Village of Homer Glen has recently approved submission of a congressionally directed funding request seeking $3 million to support the construction of the sanitary sewer line extension, as well as another $1 million in senior relief for those that most in need. This is possible thanks to partnerships with consultants hired by the village, and is a step toward infrastructure independence away from IAW, Illinois American Water, which ultimately leads to lower water bills for all Homer Glen residents. Keep in mind, IAW just recently filed for a $130 million increase in water rates. This has got to stop. And Homer Glen is doing everything they can to combat this. Now, if my opponent is a fiscal conservative, perhaps he'd like to comment and maybe explain how he sunk $2.3 million into a community center as Homer Township supervisor that remains unfinished with another $700,000 left to complete this project. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to respond to two things he had, because he had two lies.
You get 1 minute.
All right? Real quick. He hired Lago knowing he had no lobby license, for God's sake. That was the biggest dumb thing anyone could do. And nothing happened, our water bill shouldn't change. I was talking about the no-bid contracts that you guys voted to waive the bidding process for garbage trucks and Berry Landscaping. That's what I was talking about, not Lago. The stuff that happened with that was outrageous. You know, you've been on there 10 months and you got $60,000 of taxpayer money going to a guy to lobby with no lobby license. Come on, don't you know, you can shake your head, it's not true. Well, it's true. What has he accomplished? Zero. I talked to people down in Springfield, nobody said he was around ever. Then I was told he goes to Washington. Well, he went to Washington on what? Who likes him in Washington? You think President Trump's talking to him? Just because he pardoned him doesn't mean that he's going to help him lobby when you don't have a lobby license.
Time. I'll give you 1 minute if you'd like it.
Yes, I would. Thank you for that. Okay, first off, the firm that we hired was contracted federally. That's where these grants are coming from. This is what Homer Glen is doing. We are trying to get energy infrastructure independence. And it's not going to happen overnight. My opponent may say, oh, we haven't seen no results yet. Well, you got to give some things time. Now, we do have inroads. We're making those inroads, and we feel confident that we will bring water relief to our residents. There's no doubt about it. But once again, you can see that he did not touch on the $2.3 million wasted. The biggest financial mistake in Homer Township history is under his watch. Now, if you want to keep on, saying this $2.3 million is still a big deal, but $50,000 that we use for lobbying efforts is a big deal. We are returning $3 million back to the village. I feel like this is a pretty easy, open and shut argument, and I feel like my point is extremely important, and I don't think he knows the ins and outs of what he's talking about in this regard. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on. Candidate Richmond. As a board member, what unique skills and experiences will you bring to the table while representing your district?
So I think there's a number of things. Not only customer service, but also too is being responsible within your community. So let me touch on the first part, customer service. I view every resident, no matter if you're from Homer Glen, you're from Frankfort Township, or Mokina or that, or Homer Township, as somebody that I need to respond to. I think I've done a very good job over the past 3+ years. I've responded to just about everybody that I'm aware of. Try and make sure that I get things done. I make the appropriate phone calls within the county and work to get resolution for the constituent. Also, too, is at the county, I look at the fact that not only are you representing the county in your district, but you're representing the whole county. And in the whole county, we have some major concerns that are ahead of us. Not only solar farms, and I don't like to call them solar farms, those are solar power plants. And they're being put right next to residents. And if you look at the map, let's just put a line around Laraway Road. North of Laraway Road is pretty much a residential municipality type of environment. You go south of Laraway Road, and it's farmland. And that's some of the best farmland in the world. It's the breadbasket of America, is what I've been told many times. And what we're doing is we're allowing these solar companies to come in and plant, the most recent one that I'm aware of is 19,000 solar panels in a 6,000 acre area. It's going right up against residences, it's going up against municipalities, and it's actually infringing on municipalities' comprehensive plans. That's a major concern. Also, too, we've touched a little bit upon data centers, too. Data centers, that's something that's going to be coming up here in the future and that. And what we need to do is understand the impact that they're going to have and make sure we do everything in our power to protect our residents and our citizens as well as the municipalities. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Candidate Lepore, what is your position on data centers in the county?
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for that question. Data centers are an ever-increasing issue within Will County, within the state of Illinois. I feel that data centers, while they are, sorry, I got a couple of notes I would like to get through. Lots of issues. Data centers consume a massive amount of water and electricity. Guardrails are needed to protect the community, the environment, and our residents' pocketbooks. Speculation in the futures market, as basically with the construction data centers, has increased the price of electricity and has been passed on to consumers. Utility increases related to data center construction and operation should not be paid by consumers. It should be paid for by the actual data centers. The city of Naperville actually recently shot down a proposal for a data center over similar concerns. I think it was the right move. I believe Illinois State Bill 4016, which seeks to set water use and efficiency standards, is a step in the right direction, and the county should take similar measures to protect consumers. Obviously, further discussion will be needed to see how the balance between growth and impact of data centers will impact our future as residents of Will County, and I look forward to that challenge. I look forward to that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Balich?
About the data centers,
No.
what's your question?
Where do you feel that the county falls short in serving its residents?
Where do I feel they fall short a lot of ways. I don't like it takes forever to get a building permit. And because when it takes a long time to get a building permit, the developers decide, well, we're gonna go to a different place if they can get it quicker. And they don't have as much hassle. So that's it. But now, you know, when you're talking about stuff, I was accused of being an idiot about the Civic Center. Guess what? If I was elected, if I didn't have 2,386 Democrats cross over in the Republican Party and endorse the mayor's candidates, which he was one of them, I would have won. And I would have had that Civic Center open in June, the very latest, May or June. We said it numerous times to all the people here. We had the money. We know where it was coming from. I had donors. I would have had that open. It's been sitting since they took over. Why? Because they don't care. They ain't bothering to figure it out. They're saying there's no money. Well, how come the money was there when I had it, and now all of a sudden it's not there? Is it because the 2,376 Democrats, or 86, excuse me, Democrats that came out and voted for these people wouldn't like the Civic Center up because we built it? Is that the reason? It can't be anything else because it was going to help all the special need kids here. We're going to have basketball for special need kids. We're going to have places for the seniors to go. It was a great project. The township would have had some place that nowhere else around here had. Nowhere. There's nowhere to go for anything over there. So that's really bad. So we can get back to the other question. What else besides land use? Well, the RNG plant. We had a good example there. We have to get the thing up and running because the projections for revenue are falling. The landfill itself, we did a dumb thing, but that's being corrected. Our board is correcting it because the fees that they charge the dump, they lowered it. They never should have lowered it. We should have kept them up higher. Why would you lower it?
All right.
Do you like your vote?
I don't think you mentioned me specifically.
Well, I think we was talking about.
I wasn't allowed to talk to him after he took me out.
You didn't say your name.
He takes me out and I can't get him back a second time. I have to use my time and talk about why he was
We'll
wrong.
talk about it.
I'll give you 1 minute.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm not as good looking as him.
Great. So the Civic Center that was constructed by prior administration is, I would quote, the worst financial decision in Homer Township history. There is no magic wand to find the remaining $700,000 that is needed to finish construction. The current administration has been working relentlessly to find grants, other monies. This thing was left just a total mess. I mean, if you really believe in fiscal conservatism, if you believe in a Republican principle of financial conservatism, this is the worst mistake you could possibly make, and it's undefendable. To say there is some kind of money or get grants or get money lined up, there was none. There is none. This is a bridge to nowhere. Build it and they will come is what he thinks we're doing here. No, that's not how it works. You have to first have a need, then you build something. You don't build something and then find a need. That's how the private sector works. People have been in government too long, we have forgotten that. And that's why we see wasted tax dollars. Thank you.
Do I get to respond to that?
He didn't say your name, we're gonna move on.
Oh, he's talking about me, come on.
Sorry. Candidate Richmond, do you believe public hearings should still be heard at county board meetings? And if so, why?
So I believe that the public should always be heard. I mean, I think what we've done at the county is we've allowed people to come to committee meetings, we've allowed them to come to board meetings and that, we've always given them time. And I think our land use department, and I'm gonna give credit to Frankie Pretzel, he does a very good job in letting everybody speak, letting both sides be heard. And that, I think that's a commendable job. Now the question comes in with public hearings is you know, we've been given some guidance periodically by our state's attorney's office, and sometimes there's some conflicting information on when you can hear people and what you can hear, and when you can hear it, and what information you can consume, and when you can make a decision based off the information that you hear. So last thing I ever want to do is do anything that's going to be in violation of a law that's going to put us in jeopardy, that's going to put us in court case or that. So I'm all for letting the public, having public hearings. However many are allowed, when they're allowed and all that, you know, we're going to have to sort through that. But right now, I know we do have public hearings at land use, and we do have them at the county board. And I think that the more that the public is heard, the better off we are. So, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the gentleman the same question I asked the other two groups. Will you openly support the winner of the primary in the general election?
I'll hold my nose and vote for whoever wins if it's not me and Jim.
Me? I'll support whoever wins, and you know, I like to think that I've got a good platform to run on in that, but I will support whoever wins. I just want to see whoever wins be successful in growing this region. And I'm sorry if I'm not just giving you a yes or no answer. I'm giving you a yes answer, but I think it's very important that in this region that we try and grow our economy. We are sitting in the epicenter of the United States. We're at the crossroads. We're trying to bring back as much onshoring work as possible. Dan's giving me the tap, so I will support anybody that. Oh, I got 30 seconds, so thank you. I didn't know I forgot what the tap was. But I think what we've experienced through the pandemic, how the fact that we don't have pharmaceuticals, we didn't have PPE, there was a lot of very essential materials that we don't manufacture in the United States. And I think what we've got to do is do everything in our power as a county board to attract business and attract the right kind of businesses to our area. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. And please vote for James Richmond. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Lepore.
Yes, thank you. First and foremost, I'm a Republican. I believe in Republican values. I will support a Republican candidate over a Democrat 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now, while my opponents, some of them may be a little misguided and ill-informed, if the voters choose to go that route, I will support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.